This is how you'll play next, using the all-new Wii U gamepad controller.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Nintendo video chat. This is a very exciting video chat. The moment is nigh. The Wii U launch is in a matter of days. Hey, hours.
Wow.
I know.
Intense.
Well, technically, like 2 years ago, it was still a matter of hours, right?
That is true. We're talking about sun cycles here. We're going to be talking about the Wii U launch today and giving you a bit of a launch guide. We'll be talking about the games, the console that we've had for a couple weeks now, and its many quirks and also its awesomeness. We'll have an awesome live stream, too, on Monday.
Yeah.
The 19th.
Yeah.
Which I think most of us here will be on. And so check in for that on IGN.com.
Except
Here's
for
the meeting.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Except for
me, I won't be on it,
Yeah.
but
Oh.
I'll watch it.
We should drag you on at some point. You should come up.
Just come on.
Just come on up.
Mondays
Video
are bad.
bomb us.
But yeah, Sam, Audrey,
You're supposed to
and I
be
will
bringing
on
us pizza, right?
And if you
Oh,
guys
okay.
have been wondering
Oh,
why we haven't
yeah.
podcasted in so long, it's Wii U's fault. Blame Wii U.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been a little busy.
But we've been playing a lot of Wii U, which has been really nice.
Yeah.
So the voices you just heard are Richard George, Audrey Drake,
Hey, everyone.
Pear
Hi.
Schneider,
Good day.
and hosting
He was
here is...
definitely not drinking a soda.
You caught me mid Dr. Pepper sip.
Hosting is who? Dr. Pepper?
Yes, hosting is me, Samuel Claiborne. So even though we're all excited, let's kick this off with a bit of a little bit scary news that the Wii U Video Apps we found out today are delayed. That's kind of a big deal because Nintendo's been really plugging the gamepad as this awesome source of your new TV browsing.
Yeah.
Not on day one.
Let me
No,
tell
not
you-
on day one anymore.
Let me tell you why this is a big deal. I have to find it 1 second. Sorry.
He's using
I
his
didn't
phone.
expect necessarily to pull this up. All right. Yeah. So there's a quote in their press release today, which was just sort of announcing the general launch of the Wii U. From Reggie saying it's an everyday connected device offering a combination of games, entertainment, online connectivity, etc., etc. Never have so many features been packed into one game console, except a lot of those entertainment features are just not
Yeah,
actually
they're
in
not
the
in.
console.
Yeah.
You look at the side of the box.
So we did this yesterday. We looked down the side of the box, and almost nothing in that box is in there.
Yeah, I mean, here's the weird thing about it. You look at the side of the box, and it's like play games. Okay, yeah, you can play Wii U games. Backwards compatibility, that's not there until a day
Until
one
the
update.
update.
The TVII thing, that's
Yeah.
not there. Netflix, not there. Hulu, not there. They
Amazon.
announced YouTube today. That's not there. Amazon's not there. Although we heard some weird conflicting report, or I saw it pass through Twitter, that Netflix claims that it will be there on day one, which makes no sense because apparently Nintendo doesn't know it's there. So that's kind of weird.
Well, the point of all this though is that like even if that stuff was ready for day one, like it's really weird that we have to download all of that.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have an online connection, which Nintendo didn't even think you had 10 years ago,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's
I
no
mean,
way
look-
for you to get all the cool stuff that's supposed to come with the system.
Yeah, it's really too bad that it's not going to be available for launch. I mean, at least that a lot of the features, like you'd need online anyway to enjoy them, like Miiverse and the streaming and all of that. So it's not the biggest deal, but it's still, I mean,
Yeah,
it
it's
should
just
have
the video
shipped
apps.
with all of the features.
But all
from
that
the
other stuff you
box.
just mentioned, you have to download that as well.
Yeah, that's what
So
I'm saying. If you
just
don't have
as
an internet
as
collection.
pure like Wii U launch guide knowledge, know that on your first day with your Wii U, you should have an online connection because you need to get this package
Yeah, connect
of stuff.
it with your internet as soon as you get it.
Go to your
really.
local Starbucks or something.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing, right? So it's
Well,
not,
you'll have your gamepad, so you don't need to have it plugged into the
Yeah.
TV.
That's true. That's actually really cool.
I mean, it's not just the eShop which isn't there. It's that you can't transfer your Wii content to your Wii U. It's that you can't access SD card hard drive stuff. You can't do it. Like you can't do anything but play Wii U games, and that's awesome. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
I think
you don't need this to play Mario. You don't need this to play
Right.
Nintendo
Yeah.
Land.
And I
think,
you
you know-
need to update it for all the online stuff
Yeah.
and for the shop too.
and
if
to
you wanna
play
buy
these
stuff.
things online.
no Miiverse.
Yeah.
And you can't play your Wii games, your old Wii games on
Right.
it until you get an update.
I mean,
Exactly.
this is what's so crazy about it to me is that like I get it, like, and I think all of us in this room are buying this thing for Wii U games, especially for what Nintendo sort of comes up with and conjures up now and in the future. But at the same time, like, a lot of people want to put all their Wii stuff onto their Wii U and go sell their Wii. Can't do that yet. You know, not until you get this
clever on their
update thing. I mean, it's just so weird to me that like. I just, especially, I mean, I would keep looking at it this way. For the past couple of years, we've dealt with a Wii that has had very little software. And I always sort of sat there going, well, that's fine because I know they're working on whatever's next. Clearly, they need to move on, and they're working on Wii U, especially once those rumors surfaced. I was like, okay, fair enough. I will deal with nothing, except that. But now it's not. I just don't understand why it's not there. It's weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
And if you're talking about families, like a lot of families aren't going to even know. You would have no idea it's there. Like, Audrey and I have looked at the OS, like, not to get into too much detail, but like we know you wouldn't know it's there. You wouldn't know that you're missing something unless you knew that, the way we do, or that you read online.
I
So you
wonder if
think
it's
it's a
gonna-
moot point then that it's not a big deal to everybody else? It just does the box have like all sorts of logos for
Yeah,
the support
that's
on
the
it?
problem.
Well,
It's
like,
like backwards
TV
compatible. and
especially
it-
is like a huge
yeah.
selling point for casual audience. So
And the commercials
little
are,
crazy.
all geared towards showing people that they can use this to like watch movies on and stuff, and just you won't be able to do that. For
Yeah,
free.
we don't even have a specific date.
It sounds like something happened, right? Obviously, I mean, we've
I'm
been
They
hoping-
rushed it. They wanted
I'm
it out
hoping-
for Black Friday.
I think
It
they
wasn't
might
ready.
be reacting, and they might be throwing it on Wii U consoles and just throwing them in the box after they have it.
I mean,
Like
there's-
that would be a smart thing to delay that for.
There's no doubt that they are worried about supply for the holiday season. I mean, just trying to satisfy sort of the core Nintendo faithful will sell them out this year. So no doubt the reason it's not in there is because they had to get producing and they had to sort of make a cutoff point of what needs to be in the box and on the memory before it goes. I'm just still baffled that they're rushing for these sorts of things. There is no Wii U Virtual Console. It doesn't exist because I don't know. It's not ready yet. They don't have that full gamepad functionality. You can't support more than one hard drive at launch because you need an update eventually to do that, and it's just sort of weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
So-
look, I mean, a lot of these kinds of features were introduced gradually on other platforms
Absolutely.
before as
Yeah,
well, right?
that's
And it's
true.
difficult to get the stuff right at launch. I'd argue Microsoft has a much more complex system that
Absolutely.
they delivered at launch and they and then updated it over time. Obviously, their console didn't work at launch, but
This is similar to
I'm-
the 3DS. It launched without the eShop when we thought that was going to arrive day one.
I mean, that's sort of my concern
Yeah.
and frustration. Is it's all consoles evolve. 360 is radically different than it was when it launched. PS3, same thing, software library as well as sort of what's on the hardware itself. But for Nintendo took a lot of hits when the 3DS launched without most of its stuff, and they said we've learned, and we're all like check. And then and I'm totally fine with Wii U evolving over time, but when I see it missing its some basic things, what did we say? Yeah, I mean, like when the eShop is not in there on day one. It's like, come on. Like,
It's
that's
so
what happened with
strange,
3DS.
right?
Like, come on. Like,
So-
It's like such a great opportunity when you activate a device, to showcase all the things it can do, and
Yeah.
it's very difficult to re-engage the person later on, right? Like somebody connects their machine to the internet, the machine needs to say, and this is why you're doing this
Yeah.
because look, right now you can download this. And
here's
it's
all this stuff
it's a-
available to you.
It's a big miss. I mean, it really can. Like, if you don't make a user register for
Yeah.
something in the beginning, it's very difficult to get them
Exactly.
to
Well,
register
the
later.
funny
and-
thing is, if you haven't been watching the commercials and reading our articles, you don't know what Miiverse is. When you first turn on the system, like you see, just your
That's
Mii
what you're
and
supposed to
stuff.
see.
So like you don't know what, like we knew what it was because
Yeah.
we know all about Miiverse. But if you just are seeing that, you're like, why is my Mii in this barren wasteland
Yeah.
of white? Like what's going on?
Yeah,
like
so
you'd have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I mean, like so much of the functionality.
That
is
will
stripped-
happen to many,
Yeah,
many, many.
I'm like, it would make more sense when you add more Mii's and they start talking to each other and stuff. But at first, it's like, what is this?
Yeah, I mean,
going
my
on?
only hope is that somehow, I mean, obviously we knew that we started forcing updates through, you'd buy a disc of some, X, Y, or Z game, and then it would be like, hey, by the way, update. So they can do that, but no launch game does that. So, when you put in Mario, it's not gonna be like, oh, you should update your system, and it'll put all that in there for you. So they're not even doing that at launch. It's entirely reliant on you knowing and or thinking that you should be online with this thing. So
All right, so I'm gonna pull back because we were just seeing some cool video of Ninja Gaiden Razor's Edge,
Sure.
and Ryan McCaffrey reviewed this game, and I thought he said something really interesting in the review. I was gonna read out of it. Nobody else in here has played the Wii U
I've
version.
played
Did
it
you
a
play
fair
it?
amount.
I mean,
Wii U,
the
yeah.
Wii U version.
Yeah, yeah.
I played the demo version and stuff of it, but he said he's making a point that the game's kind of expensive to buy if you've already played the game originally. So he says Razor's Edge might seem like a $60 game, but you should really budget another $50 on top of that, as a pro controller is practically but not exactly required here. While the system's signature Wii U gamepad is plenty ergonomic, it's simply not a good fit, literally, for the kind of action Ninja Gaiden throws at you.
Gaiden.
I just said Gaiden before, and now I said Gaiden. I like to
I
split
go
up
back
my
and
audience.
forth on that one too.
That's okay.
And as far as the gamepad screen goes, it's not put to much use. So he's just making the point that maybe we want to pick up a classic controller, or not a classic controller,
Pro.
the Pro controller on
Yeah.
day one.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what you guys think about like what other accessories are people going to need, because I was also surprised to find out that there's games in Nintendo Land that require Wii Motion Plus.
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of the Pro Controller is sort of an interesting scenario because
And that just what we mentioned there, that's 4 different types of controllers: the regular Wii U controller, Wii U Motion Plus controller, the Pro, and the gamepad,
and an nunchuck too,
and then nunchuck. So like we're talking like accessory hell from day one. But
Sure.
I want people to know like what games they're picking up, what they need. Do people need to pick up this controller for any other game?
I can more or less
don't know.
keep.
Those are gonna be hard to find. I think.
I
It
reckon-
looks like
yeah,
they're
maybe.
selling.
I
out.
recommend the steering wheel shell for Ninja Gaiden.
Actually,
That's
the steering wheel works with tank,
The
tank,
funny
tank.
thing is, like I've used the gamepad to play
It
a
actually has
similar
the
game.
logo on
Like
there.
I played a little of Ninja Gaiden with it. I
Yeah.
played a little of Darksiders 2 with it, and like it totally works. It's really hard to get used to at first because it's like your hands want to go inward. They're
Yeah.
so used to the classic, controller for a console. But after you play for it for a little while, you
talking-
totally get over it.
And
and
to
get
be
used
fair,
it.
Ryan is the executive editor of IGN Xbox, and that controller is a lot like
Yeah,
an
and-
Xbox
It is.
controller. So
It
maybe he's
is.
more used
But
to
we
it.
Yeah.
got exactly. You get used to everything, right? Like when you're driving a car, you never complain that the steering wheel forces your hands to be far apart, and
Yeah,
you're not
you
saying
get
I
used
need
to
a
it.
tiny controller. So I think you will get used to it.
If you can just
and-
get over it in your own mind,
Yeah.
like it's totally fine. It's
But,
ergonomic.
but
works
he
great.
also, he knows the experience of Ninja Gaiden in his mind, right? He knows what
Mm-hmm.
it feels like, and so playing it on the wider pad might have been just really weird for him
Yeah,
too. So.
yeah.
I think that the Pro Controller is an interesting one because it's really good, but a lot of games don't support it. So I don't know that there's necessarily a burning need for it right away, unless you're like, I really want to play Ninja Gaiden, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm going to play a lot of. Then sure, go for it. But and I think I'm right on all these things, but stuff like Batman does not use
Yeah.
it.
Somehow.
I cannot recall if Assassin's Creed uses it. I don't think it does.
And like based
Cannot
on this
remember.
review, Ninja Gaiden might be the reason that you are playing. I mean, you got a good review. It looks
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
super violent. It's published by Nintendo.
it's much
which is really
improved.
strange. It's probably the most violent game ever
Well,
published
keep
by
in mind
Nintendo.
that hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, like a lot more of these games will be coming to Wii U. So you're probably gonna want this controller anyway. It's a nice controller.
It's
But if
begin
you have
with.
to buy a bunch of Wii controllers and
Yeah, it's what your priority is,
because it
really.
doesn't. Now remember, the Wii U does not come with a Wii controller.
It just comes with the
so,
gamepad.
So Nintendo Land with a game that comes with it. I think my favorite games in it like use the Wii remotes because you have to have 4 people playing with the
Interesting.
person. So
I don't know. I would argue. I mean, obviously, if
There's a
you're
lot of
getting
stuff you can play
Nintendo
without
Land,
them.
just pick up a couple of Wii remotes with Motion Plus, just because.
you probably have
It's
them lying
more
around.
a party game, but it is like 9 of the attractions can be played single player,
Yep.
and those are amazingly fun. Like I said it in my review, but this is the only mini game collection I've ever played that's actually just as fun alone as it is with 2 people or with 5 people. So like it's better to have more people, obviously, just because it's a party. But if you get this game and you just have your gamepad and you all alone with the system, you'll still have a lot of fun.
I'd be curious to hear how many NVC viewers and listeners don't have Wii remotes, right? Like
Right.
if
Yeah,
you're into Nintendo,
that
you
would be
probably
interesting.
still have some sitting around, unless you're a 3DS.
But they
gamer
probably have little
exclusively.
brothers and little sisters that
Yeah.
don't know that if I gotta tell my family members now if they're gonna get a Wii U, they have to pick these things.
That's
up
true.
because,
And I
like,
just disconnected my Wii and put it in my little son's room, and so he's snagging all the old Wii remotes. So.
Yeah. It's the Motion Plus thing that's going to be a
Yeah.
problem because like a lot of people probably still don't know what Motion Plus is. So if they have all of the old Wii remotes and they try and play like Zelda on Nintendo Land, they can't, and they're probably not going to know
Parents, do you know
why.
there's even a newer Wii remote that has the sync button outside the
yeah.
plastic
the new
shell?
ones they're
Wii U
marketing.
branded ones,
yeah.
right? That's
well,
awesome.
they don't say Wii U on the remote.
They don't even say that. They just have.
Yeah.
They're just still
I think
Wii remotes.
I think
box is
Audrey and
sweet.
Rich,
They're
you guys should put on like ninja outfits and in the middle of the night break into people's houses and replace all the old Wii remotes
It's on our
with the
to-do
new
list.
ones. Yeah.
Ninja Santa.
We'll buy
Or
you
like
like 100 that should
Mario
take care of the
Santas.
US, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that the Motion Plus is a big deal for Nintendo Land, at least specifically, because there's only, within Zelda, there's only one role if you're a swordsman assisting an archer. That's where you need Motion Plus.
Yep.
With Metroid, you need to be on the ground. So
yeah,
and-
you
and
can still play Metroid, the
Exactly.
other modes.
Metroid, you can play.
So.
You can be in the ship, instead of on the ground. And with Zelda, you can be the archer.
Wait, so but
instead of the-
if you're playing 1 versus 4, you have to have Wii Motion Plus.
so for Zelda, if you
Not Zelda, I mean Metroid.
for Metroid, if you're on the ground, you need Wii Motion
But
Plus.
on the
Yeah,
ground
so-
is four out of the 5 people, though, right?
Right.
Yeah, if you're playing, you can play both of those games on your own if you want. But
Yeah.
if you
Well,
want
no,
to
I'm
play
just saying,
those,
if I want to play multiplayer, my Wii remotes don't. That doesn't make any sense
It's
because
the-
you're just
it's the-
pointing at the screen.
No,
right?
but it's using Motion Plus for the aiming mechanic, I believe. Yeah.
aiming and moving.
That's really frustrating. See, I don't think people know that. Cool. Yeah.
To be fair, the game will tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
it'll
tells
be
you,
like,
like,
don't-
attach
it's
Motion
like
Plus
attach
or-
or use that one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's pretty clear.
Audrey, you reviewed this game. You haven't been able to talk about it post review.
Mhm.
What is the whole like web of the game like that we didn't know about based around? Like, what's the theme park like, and like what's the
Yeah, well,
hate
is
I
there
hate the
something
theme
more
park.
to
he
it?
doesn't like it. I like it.
Well, I
There's-
think Rich and I were talking, beforehand. Like, we want some depth to like,
Yeah.
what the mini games are
Well,
based
Oh,
on.
there's plenty of depth here, and especially for a minigame collection. I like the little plaza hub area because it's just sort of more personal. Like most minigame collections, it's just a menu, pick bowling, pick baseball, or whatever. But here, it's like you have this area, you can run around, you can see your friends' Mii's, generic Mii's, you can run around and do a coin game. You can fill it out with all of these decorations from all of your
This is
favorite
it right
games.
here, right?
And then,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, just that thing I'm running
Just a
around.
coin game right there.
And
yeah.
then that just serves as the hub world that from there you can go into all of these 12 different attractions. So, I mean, it doesn't change the experience except for it just makes it more personal, I feel.
My
I
only-
just really like the theme.
I'm
I
excited
only-
about Yoshi's Fruit Cart.
I'm so
that-
addicted
That
to
one's
that
really
game.
cool. I like
I
that.
actually,
That one's so
we're
good.
looking right here at Captain Falcon. That is one of my least favorites. Yoshi's
Pear
card.
hates this one.
Yoshi's card is awesome. I think the weird thing about Captain Falcon is it reminds me that
Casamassina. Did you
yeah.
see the Casama
Yeah,
Wiener?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why is that? Oh, it's because it's referring to.
It was
The
the
Wii
old me,
Sports,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of the games are really great. I think that the Captain Falcon one's weird because it reminds me that I want an F-Zero game, and that is not F-Zero.
Well, it's funny because they've ignored that franchise for so
Long
long,
time.
and then suddenly it's in this mini game that's not quite like it to begin with, but
Yeah.
it's a little strange. I love Donkey Kong's Crash Course.
Really?
One's cool.
I was hoping that one would be one
That
that
one is
people would
so
get
good,
into.
especially like at
Nice.
first. It's so funny.
But there's
'cause,
other levels though, right?
well, it's this big long thing, but it's funny
That's
that
it?
That's
the only
No, there are
course?
multiple things,
Oh,
but
there
it's
are.
funny when people every time I've seen someone first play that game, they're like, "This is broken. The gyro's too touchy." But then, like when you actually figure out it's you that's doing it wrong, it's amazing how tightly you can control
Yeah.
that card.
I mean, what's cool
It
is
is
that
really cool.
9 of the games can be single player, but the 6 that are designed just for single player are like old school arcade
They're
style
probably the most
difficulty.
creative,
like,
honestly.
They will beat your ass.
Oh, yeah.
Like, balloon
A balloon
fight.
trip breeze, balloon trip breeze.
yeah.
That's
That one's awesome.
That's
Donkey
intense.
Kong is great. Like they are difficult and challenging, but you still manage to get a pretty it's like the old arcade games where you like make a decent amount of progress so you feel like you're competent, but then it just beats you into submission and you're like,
Yeah.
okay. It's actually kind of like some of the Mario challenges too. So
It's cool that there are like extra stamps and trophies and like
Yeah.
all kinds of things to sort of incentivize you to actually play these games a lot.
Yep. What's
So
next, Sam?
speaking of Mario, let's move on because Richard George here reviewed New Super Mario Bros. U, which is I'd say my most anticipated game by far, but also probably the best game at launch.
I think so.
From what
Yeah.
I've played,
It's shaping
and
up
what
that
I can
way.
talk about.
Yeah, I mean, the weird thing is that I was not looking forward to this game at all, honestly. And I
Especially
haven't.
after Mario 2.
Yeah, because Mario 2 was disappointing to me.
I like Mario too.
Yeah. I don't know. The new Mario series, honestly, to me, has not been that interesting.
See, I'll go with you there, but I think Mario 2, just the coin collecting, just the fact that they made a change, I was like, thank
Sure.
God, I want
Sure.
to do something different.
And
they do that in this.
This one's Mario 2 is great. This one's a lot more creative though from a level design
Oh, yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, it
that's
had all of its senior designers on it.
that's the thing is that Nintendo
and they're actually
Nintendo Land-
seniors too, because they're very old.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so Mario 2, like that was the thing was I just didn't think the level design was very quality at all. This is like Mario World. This is
Really?
Mario World
It's
2.
Mario World
'Cause
meets Mario 3.
I never see
Yeah.
anything, honestly. Like, I have not played that much of this game, right? I played a little bit. I love that we're in HD now. And,
Sure.
I like some of the things I'm seeing. But,
Giant
like,
World.
Mario World and
Oh,
Super
yeah,
Mario
Giant
Brothers
World.
3 surprised me with all these clever new puzzle ideas, right? Like, the concept of flying with a cape and,
Sure.
like, using the cape to go beyond certain barriers that you couldn't get past.
Yeah.
Like, all that felt really new. And everything I see in this is something that I feel like is based on stuff I've seen in New Super Mario Brothers before.
When were
to
you
an
last
extent.
a flying squirrel, Pear?
Including
The flying squirrel is awesome.
But
Yeah.
isn't that just a bad version of the cape?
No,
No?
it's a bit
No,
different.
it's pretty
It's a little
different.
different. I mean, here's the thing: is like,
There's the old one.
They had the Wii version in there, and there's Rayman Legends. I think the weakest part of U is that it visually, I just don't think it's that interesting. I think the new Mario series is very
That
generic.
stage is amazing.
But you look at stages like this, and you're sitting there going, "Why didn't you do more of that?" Because that is awesome. They just
So
don't
we were
do
all
it.
hoping there'd be more like that because
Yeah,
we kept
and
on
there-
seeing the preview, this one
yeah.
painted
And there
Starry
isn't-
Night inspired.
I wanted
level,
like
and
Picasso and
just the
Cezanne and like all sorts
Yeah,
of artists.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
and they would have been really, really
pronunciation of Sejan.
yeah.
Yeah.
They would have done amazing things with doing that, but they don't, and that's really unfortunate because I think it leads people to assume that this is just like all the other new Mario games. But there's a lot they do that adds to this whole thing. I mean, they bring back the overworld, which is an older concept, but it hasn't been around since Mario World. But then the world actually changes as you sort of play through
Before
it.
you say all of them have overworlds, this one has like a complex,
the seamless
cool,
overworld.
changing overworld.
So more like the map
secrets in
in
it.
Mario World.
In Mario World.
Worlds
Exactly.
instead of the kind of linear
Correct.
1, 2, 3, 4,
And
5
they're like
levels
little
thing,
hammer bros who will
And if-
run across and
Okay.
battle.
If you're a
with.
fan of this podcast, you'll know that that's the one thing I complain about in every Mario game is that they got away from that. So I'm so excited to play this.
Yeah,
and,
there's
yeah.
there's actual branching paths. So you'll come up to points where it's like, do you want to go to this world or this world? And I think that's awesome. There's enemies that roam the worlds. There are boss fights that will happen in the middle of the overworld.
Oh, that's cool.
You'll just be going along, and I won't. Not that there's really spoilers in a Mario game, but I won't get into too much detail. But you'll just be wandering along, and some dude's just like, "Hey, I'm gonna fight you right now."
Yeah.
And
That's
you're
like the
"Well,
even if
roving-
you just had a boss fight.
that's like the Turtle
It
Brothers
is
in Mario 3.
It is like that, but they have those in here too, which
Yeah.
is cool. So not only are there roaming enemies,
Oh,
not
the-
only
Nice skill there.
then
Yeah.
there are the challenges.
and this here is the reason that pushes this, so much above some of the other new Mario
It's
games.
crazy looking.
Challenge mode is what every veteran Mario player has always wanted Nintendo to do, which is actually challenge them to do something difficult.
Why are you playing as a me?
Because you can play as me.
And what's with the Goombrats, or what are those guys?
Yeah,
with the-
Goombrats.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually their name.
All right.
Very well done.
Yeah. No, I read that. So
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
that smart.
No, but yeah,
So
I mean,
explain the challenges a little
challenge mode is amazing because it actually stems across. So Nintendo designers would make these levels and then they'd be like, okay, I'm gonna try and beat this level without touching the ground once, and they would do that just amongst each other
Yeah.
as their own personal challenges. So they just built that into this game, and so there'll be you saw a little bit of footage that so this is one here where you have to just jump on these Goombrats and get 1-ups, and here's another one where you're dodging these fireballs from the turtles and trying to survive as long as you
bit. So
can.
are you playing an entire level, or are you just playing a part of the level?
Depends.
It
Sometimes
depends
it's a little
a bit,
piece.
yeah.
Sometimes it's a full out level. It just depends. There's
So
all
here's
sorts
this
of different
menu
modes.
and they're
screen.
different like levels of challenges. You have
Yeah.
1 star, 3 star,
They
5
rank from
star.
1 to they rank from 1 to 5, and I've watched Nintendo employees just die repeatedly at
Well,
about a
you know,
3
like
star.
us on the Nintendo team, or Brian, or other people in the office, like we've played Mario before. We're pretty good at
Look
it,
at this,
and
look at this. This
we
is
were
so
just
hard.
having a terrible time with some of these
Yeah.
challenges. They're really difficult,
there's
which is
the-
amazing. I
And
love
how many
that.
are there? Is there a good amount of
There's a
them?
fair amount. I mean,
Yeah, all different kinds.
Nintendo's asking us not really to get into too many details about like beyond a 3 star. But these things are difficult. There's ones where you have to escort enemies as they're trying to kill you.
And when we say we can't get into it,
Escort
on
missions.
Monday, the day after launch, we're doing a live stream where we can
We're
talk
gonna get
about
into
every
it,
single
yeah.
game. We don't
yeah,
have any
we'll
more
have a bunch of
restrictions.
footage. Although I'll honestly say these things, beat my ass. Like I didn't get all the way through all the challenge modes. Honestly, like I got a good idea of them, but they
Well,
are
like
hard.
a group of like 5 of us were trying to do
Yeah.
this one challenge with bubbles,
Yeah.
where you have to like jump on the bubbles that the Yoshi spits out and get your way all the way up to the top of
Yep.
this level, and it's so hard.
Yeah. There's other ones where you have to work with somebody with the gamepad, so the person on the gamepad has to make platforms for you and escort you as a
Yeah.
Mario player across an entire world. Apparently, there's some designer at Nintendo that can he plays by himself, where he flicks the gamepad with his finger as he's holding a Wii remote and does
Oh,
it
man,
all
that
by
sounds so
himself.
hard.
Really?
I don't even know how you do that, but apparently there's someone over there that can do that.
What?
Yeah, I know. I don't even know.
He's like, I don't
read
have
it.
any friends.
Unless Iwata was making things up and there Iwata asks, that apparently is something that someone can do. But yeah, I mean, it's just really, really cool. It's something, the new Mario series has generally been an easier series. I've never really felt like super challenged by most of it. And I felt like the story mode had a better difficulty curve level, and also the challenge mode, is finally an admission that there are some serious Mario players out there that really want to be tested, which is awesome.
So let's do a quick rundown of the big third-party games that we're kind of excited about and what people should be picking up, even though we haven't reviewed a lot of these yet, but we've seen them, and we can't really talk about a lot of details, but Scribblenauts, you guys did a cool preview of with Nintendo stuff in it.
Yeah.
So the Wii U version of Scribblenauts has, and I don't know how much of this we can talk about.
Talk about it.
Yeah, well,
We can
put
talk
it- we
about
put
the
up a
link
preview,
thing.
We can talk about it. The
Yeah.
review,
Ocarina.
honestly,
Yeah,
the
we
review,
can talk about
honestly,
that.
the review might be up by the time we
Okay.
post this.
So basically, that you can type in tons of Nintendo terms, and like you can type in Ganon, and Ganondorf is a different character. Like both
Yeah.
those
Oh,
are
really?
different
That's
things.
a funny
Yeah.
thing for things like that. Like if you already have Zelda on the screen and then
Yeah.
you type in Sheik, she'll disappear and
Yeah,
then Sheik will
and I
show
gotta
up.
that's
say, man,
great.
that
That's great,
team
yeah.
in
That's-
HD they are just, it looks so
Gorgeous.
different. Like,
Yeah.
like you don't think you can scale that up, but man, it looks good. It's just so colorful. And
What's funny to me
crisp
is
looking.
so many of the characters have their very Scribblenauts-esque design, but Tingle looks exactly
Just
the
like
same.
Tingle.
And Ganondorf actually is the Wind
He's like
Waker
Wind Waker,
design.
yeah,
so,
yeah.
And he
Which
looks
So they
fits
used
right
the kind of
in.
cell look.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
if you
cool.
ever wanted to see Mario with like a chainsaw, this is the game for
That's
you.
pretty
This
awesome.
is
I'm
probably the only
surprised
place.
they let them do it because
I'm
Nintendo
surprised.
is so strict on their character usage. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I mean,
But then again, there's Tekken.
yeah, exactly. Now,
Yeah.
but those are
That.
costumes.
Those
so
are
that's
just
different.
costumes.
They
Yeah.
have
But-
mushrooms. Mushrooms are a character.
Yeah. All right.
So that's another third-party game that's been
Toads are
augmented by
characters,
Nintendo.
Mushrooms aren't characters.
but it's creepy and it feels strange.
Yeah, in that
Yeah.
game there's lots of costume
I
stuff.
have
We actually did a
nightmares.
previous
That looks
episode about that.
awesome.
And so there's a couple ports that are out on launch day too: Mass Effect 3, Assassin's Creed 3, and Darksiders 2. I don't know which ones of those we can actually talk about in here, but I know you've been playing Darksiders 2.
Yeah.
But I don't know
I
how much you can
don't-
talk about
As
it.
Audrey nervously
Yeah,
likes to be.
let's-
I mean,
let's
look,
not.
Okay.
I think it's safe to say, I mean, we've seen these at preview events. You will see some. So I'm also going to
And
publish.
Batman, I should say Batman.
I'm gonna-
Batman, yeah.
I'm going to publish a full explanation of this later, but there is one big rule we're using for the reviews, which is if it has a major online component, we are actually not going to review it at launch because I find Nintendo's approach to online a little too unreliable for my taste, especially with this latest news of all their TV apps going.
So
and
that would go for the
And we
sports
don't
games too,
have-
like Madden.
That's
and
Yeah,
Madden.
for people who don't know, we don't have access to that update yet either.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a, that's
and also, can you explain what we're re-reviewing, like Ninja Gaiden, and what we're augmenting our review?
Yeah.
previous review?
It's
I
a
think
sort
Ninja
of
Gaiden's
a
the
port
only
by port
standalone,
basis.
right?
We're sort of taking a look at it, and if it's
Okay.
significantly different, if it's enough to like alter the gameplay, alter the score
So
potentially,
is Ninja Gaiden
then
the
it's
only
getting a
one
new
that
one.
we're
yeah.
doing? and
Ninja
the new one
Gaiden's the only one that's
Okay.
being completely redone.
And other
Well,
ones
because
will
that
have
adds
a.
so much that changes the entire game. It
So
adds
you can
dismemberment
expect when we
weapons.
put out our reviews for these other ones, it'll be the original reviewers' impressions, and usually their impressions of the new stuff, but sometimes another person's impressions of the
by
new
and
stuff.
large, we tried to keep to the original reviewer. Oh, here's
Look at all those features you're going to get at launch.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
in
yeah.
one place.
That's it's just to comment on the footage here. It's TV is not currently slated to show up until December, though Nintendo told me they're trying to go as early in December as possible. But so whatever I don't know what it is, like a server thing or whatnot, but they're working on it. Anyway, so yeah, in all cases we tried to preserve the original reviewer. There were a couple of scenarios where just from a manpower issue, we just said, okay, someone else is going to evaluate the Wii U edition to, whatever the original content was. So.
The good news is
yep.
you can still read the Xbox and PS3 versions of those reviews if you want to
You
make a
can.
decision. If you don't know whether you want to buy, Mass Effect 3 or not, you can read those reviews.
Yeah, so I mean, you can expect. So I believe Scribblenauts should be up by Sunday. Zombie U will show up on Sunday. Darksiders will show up on
It's
Sunday.
a Sunday, November 18th.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, this
US
Sunday,
launch
launch
day.
day.
U.S. launch day. Batman, but stuff like Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed. I'm trying to think of
NBA?
Madden.
There's an
NBA,
NBA,
NBA 2K.
Tekken, all those are going to wait. And in some cases, we're practically done. Like we've done all of our prep for the
Just have to
review.
test that
We're
thing
just
out.
waiting
Yeah.
because I just some games I think you can go, this will work. I've played this
Mm-hmm.
in test environments. I know what this is like. This will work. With Nintendo, I do not trust them right
Yeah.
now. So I'm just gonna wait and see what this looks like. We'll test it. We'll update our consoles, check it all out, and then publish. So I think after Sunday, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you will see quite a bit. There's
Oh,
me.
no, not that guy.
There's me. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just before Thanksgiving, I think you'll see a fair amount of reviews showing up as we're just like, yep, that's good. That online works. Oh, yeah, hopefully. And then, we still have a couple other
They'll
lingering
trickle
ones.
out a little bit after that.
All right.
And for anyone who doesn't know, which you should, our Mario and Nintendo Land
Yeah,
and
Ninja
Ninja
Gaiden.
Gaiden reviews are already up on
Yes.
the
Yeah,
site.
and
on
we have a
IGN.
whole Wii U launch guide that's a
Yep.
big banner on IGN. You guys can look all that up there. It's great.
And
By the way,
our
did you,
wikis.
looking at the footage, did you guys choose that room on purpose? It has a postage stamp Goomba on the wall
Our video person did do that, yes.
and a little Mario. That's just somebody's office, isn't it?
That's a
or-
meeting room.
Oh,
Just a
meeting room.
room.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah.
So I want to go over, and we don't have that much more time, but I wanted to talk about, since we've all had the hardware in the office for this long, we're actually going to do a hardware review. We're going to do a gamepad review, a standalone gamepad review.
I can walk you through that too if you want.
Yeah, and I just want to talk about also like what quirks and like unique stuff we've discovered about the Wii U gamepad and the
Mostly it's
controller.
what isn't going
Like
to
for instance,
Can I
Brian,
ask the most
Brian walked
important-
over to my desk the other day with it in his hand, and he's like, "Look, I'm still playing Scribble Knots."
Yeah.
But
That
the
is-
most
then it's
important,
That's really
the
cool.
most important question: will it charge when your machine is off?
No, because you don't direct. Well, oh wait, the
The
gamepad.
gamepad will because it's
It will,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
separate.
Cradle,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
it's
You're gonna need
attached to
two
it.
I think
outlets
the most
for
important
this.
question is how much of you guys use the stand?
Actually,
comes
the
with
stand,
the
the
best
stand is
version.
actually really cool, and I thought it was going to be another 3DS case where it's like, okay, just toss this as soon as I open the box. But it's actually neat if you just want to have it propped up on the coffee table, either just to let it charge or just to have the map screen and you're playing with the
Also,
Pro controller. Like
yeah.
I don't toss that out. It's actually
But
really cool.
most people here probably won't be playing sitting at their desk and writing.
Well, here's the other
Yeah, we're on the
coffee
coffee
table though.
table.
But the other
Yeah.
thing I would say is that, and something that actually is pretty valuable about it is when video chat is up and running finally. That actually could be a pretty useful
Nintendo
way to
video
prop
chat?
this up.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. What's it called? Wii U chat, I think, is what it's
That's the name of
technically
this wonderful video podcast.
That's true. Yeah, but I think that would probably be a great way to prop up the controller when you need to. Something like that. That's actually pretty useful. But yeah, like to Pear's point, you don't directly charge it through the system. You actually charge it separately on its own AC cord.
So you need two outlets.
Yeah, so you will need two outlets, which some of us don't really.
And
have.
You don't have two outlets?
Well, we don't have we don't have two spare outlets.
Aw,
Aw.
Rich, there's this crazy device.
I have those.
He lives in a box. Leave him alone.
That's true. It's
It
difficult
can't
finding
handle
outlets.
4
in the box.
additional outlets.
So have
yeah.
you guys been using your stylus or do you use your fingers?
I go back and forth. I honestly, at first, my inclination is to use my finger, and then I'm like, oh yeah, this thing has a stylus. And I'll go for that.
I would say it depends, right? If you're playing Yoshi, I absolutely would recommend the
For
stylus.
a cart, you need
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
stylus.
By and large,
yeah, that's right.
By and
Yeah.
large, I think you just use your fingers for the most part, from what I've
Yeah.
seen, everything I played. So, yeah.
Ooh, look. That's what mine's going to look like when I get it on Sunday.
Oh, look, no fingerprints.
I
Savor
know.
that look, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what mine will look like for 10
So,
seconds.
so,
So
so
your kids
fingerprints
get a hold of it.
have been something of note to us. I think everybody
Fingerprints.
keeps commenting on the black version. It just looks so gross.
Yeah, we.
So yeah, especially
don't touch it.
yeah.
Because well,
Exactly.
we've been sharing a very few systems in the office, and
Yeah.
they've gone home with everybody.
Yeah, we
and
have
they've been
two
around.
systems. They've been the village bicycles. They've been passed all
Yeah.
around, and they just are grody. By
Well, I
this
told
You
point.
spent the
guys.
night with one, right?
I did. It was
What?
good.
It's the name of an article on IGN.com.
I know.
I
it
spent
was
the night
a
with
little
you.
creepy.
It's like I know,
Creepy.
I know.
I mean, I told you guys, I have 3 kids, and after they're done playing with game controllers, they have barnacles on them. I don't even know
Ah.
what substances they are, and like the shiny black controller is freaking me out.
Oh, it gets
I've-
gross.
I
Yeah.
won't
it's
be
like
able to
Barb's
touch it
3DS. It just has like a layer
You know
of
what?
filth
I'm gonna
on it.
I'm gonna wrap it in plastic.
Look, Rich is holding one
Just
straight
keep
out of the
that
box.
little
It's covered in
sleeve on
fingerprints.
it.
Yeah, that was the funny thing is that between takes, even the box to Wii U it takes fingerprints really well. So like I was.
So you don't have to plug in this controller to a Wii remote then, right?
No.
The Pro controller.
No.
No, you don't. So that.
Well, it's not that funny
God.
because we had to do
I
that
know,
before.
yeah.
So the Pro controller, you can see there's a small USB port on the back there. That
That's
that
for
connects
charging
directly
it.
into the system.
Now, does this have any motion controls at all built into
No.
it? Can you
It
do
has-
tilt or anything?
No.
Like the
No.
6-axis?
No,
It
that's all
has
out.
rumble though. Correct. I
Supposedly,
believe.
I've never really
yeah.
felt it to any strong degree.
And
but
that
I also,
lasts for 80 hours.
I
on
also
one
have not
charge.
played a game extensively with
Has
this thing.
The
yet.
gamepad
yeah.
have rumble?
The gamepad has
yeah,
rumble.
It does,
Really?
That
It
has
does.
I
a
don't
lot
think
of
I
rumble.
felt that in everything I
It
played.
does.
I want
yeah.
to know what happens when you play like a traditional shooter that relies on jump and shoot with
Yeah,
flipped face buttons. You know, I'm really
Yeah,
curious
so what
to
Pear's
try
talking
that out.
about is that the analog stick is actually above the A, B, X, Y buttons.
Yeah.
And
It's-
that's never been done
It's
before.
the
which is
bizarro.
kind of
It's the
thing.
bizarro PlayStation controller. in a
There's
way.
really no reason for them to do that either, because on GameCube and everything, it was the other way.
Just
and we're
I mean,
used to it the other way.
resembling the other machines to the other controllers too much, maybe.
They wanted
and-
symmetry, I guess. In
Well, and
there.
if you look
and
at
the
it,
shape is so
It's
close to the
basically
Xbox
a
controller.
classic SNES controller with the sticks up top.
Yep.
So it'd be great for virtual console games too.
Yeah.
Except
It takes
virtual
getting used
console
to.
games.
There's that. Yeah.
There will be there. We'll get them.
Eventually, it'll be good for that.
Virtual console games cannot be played with that controller.
Yeah, Virtual
Oh,
Console
that's
only lives
right.
within Wii Mode,
Ugh.
quote
So,
unquote.
so we
Hold
need
on,
to talk
that-
about that. As
But that's the old one, right?
Right.
What we don't know what happens with the Wii U Virtual Console.
Yeah.
right,
one
because it
that's
doesn't
true.
exist. Because it doesn't
the
exist.
They
games,
will, though.
the
Come
games
on.
that you've
I'm-
already
Yeah.
bought and Wii games have to run in Wii mode. So that
Yes.
means on day one, as we were mentioning, you can't play your Wii games. You can't play your old downloaded Virtual Console games either.
Unless
until you transfer.
they let you transfer eventually, right?
no,
when they
no,
launch
they
can.
let
You
you
can.
transfer,
Yeah.
but you can't do that on day one. And
No,
even
no,
then,
wait,
No,
wait,
you can
wait,
transfer
wait,
on
wait,
day
wait,
one.
wait, geez.
but you can't play them
no.
because it's in Wii mode, right?
Wait, hold on. Okay,
Two things here.
Wii Mode and the backwards compatibility are basically the same idea. They need day one update. The day one update will allow us to do backwards compatibility and Wii Mode. But when you transfer all of your material from Wii over into this Wii Mode, the self-contained sort of like emulation basically of the original Wii, it acts like a Wii. So all your Virtual Console Wii games are within that mode. And I mean, and honestly, so this is our understanding of it. I have not done this because I don't have the update, but the idea is once you engage that mode, you must use the Wii remotes, the nunchucks.
Because it's basically a Wii at that
it's
point.
It's like a Wii in the box.
Recognize. Exactly.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it is very conceivable that Nintendo will release a virtual console for the Wii U that is not in that Wii in the box.
Correct.
Where
Absolutely.
they
They've
will
already
let
said
you
they want to.
update, they will let you sync your old games over, and then they could use the pad. But they haven't
that-
announced
Wait,
that.
wait,
At
wait,
that
wait,
point, I'm hopeful
I-
you'll be able to move your old Wii Virtual Console
that's
titles
what I'm talking
over.
about.
Wait. I am pretty sure that they're not going to let you use your Wii Virtual Console games on the, within the
Really?
Wii U
Ever,
Virtual.
you think?
I think if you want to play the original Mario Brothers on your gamepad, you're buying it again.
That would be lame.
That would be
that
terrible.
is a guess. I don't know, but that is my guess.
That would make me cry.
And
Yeah.
if Nintendo is cool, they would, definitely let you do some sort of patch update thing, and I don't know. But that just sounds like I don't know.
What
that
if
just
I
doesn't
want to play
sound like
Wario's
something
Woods on
that's-
my gamepad?
Yeah.
What if?
Guys, so
Yeah. You buy it again.
when people are in line for
But I don't know.
the Wii U this weekend, and when they're ordering them online stuff, should they have a hard drive ready? Is that something that you guys think will be necessary?
For what?
It depends
For
what they
what?
plan to do with their system. Like if they're gonna plan on downloading like Mario and all kinds of stuff, then eventually they'll want a hard drive. I don't know if they'll
But you
need
can't
it day
fill
one.
it just with launch titles.
Not day one, they won't need it.
What about your old games? If you're gonna transfer those,
So Wii games
Depends
have to
which
be
one you got, basic or deluxe.
Wii games need to be kept within your SD cards. We
so those can't go on a hard drive.
This,
As far as we know.
again, we haven't actually
Yeah.
messed with this because we don't have the update. So
Right, yeah.
some of this is based on
really-
what we've
Okay,
heard.
so we
really
can't
guessing
like
check.
it's hard to make the
It's
call
hard to
whether people
say.
want to expand their
Yeah.
Wii.
We do know, for example, that Wii U will not store its data on an SD card. It'll only work with the hard drive or the internal storage. We do know that you can only use one hard drive. Currently, you can only attach one hard drive. We do know that the Wii U will only recognize up to 2 terabytes of space. We do know that the operating system takes 4 gigabytes of internal memory. So when you buy your 8 gigabyte system, you
It's just
only
like
have
an
4.
iPad or an iPod.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's beyond it's beyond just like a system format
You
issue.
notice
It's
nobody
the
says
OS.
beyond on this podcast. Now.
Haha. The one safe zone.
But yeah.
No, I'm just I was looking at the Xbox versus the Pro controller, and it's just like it makes me kind of sad that the Xbox controller has the colored face buttons when that was the Super Nintendo logo and the
Yeah.
Super Famicom controller.
Nintendo doesn't have
It was
it.
that thing.
Had
Yeah.
the red, yellow, green, blue buttons. It's just kind of sad.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That Nintendo gave up and made theirs like boring black. Anyway.
But yeah, so like here's an interesting one. If you for some reason pre-ordered a basic system, maybe you just wanted the white color
Or
scheme,
there wasn't any.
or maybe there wasn't a
system
deluxe.
left.
Yeah. The thing to know is that the OS takes about 4 gigs of your space, so you literally cannot download Nintendo Land and Mario at the same time because Nintendo Land is about 3.5 gigs and Mario is about 2.5 gigs. So you absolutely need to go deluxe if you're not planning on getting a hard drive in order to start downloading things, or you need to have a hard drive that you're or a couple hard drives around. That's the other big thing is like what is compatible in terms of hard drives. And there's a lot of sort of qualifications to this thing, and I don't know all these portable hard drives very well, but there are definitely some restrictions. Like if you have a hard drive that requires power through the USB, but it needs like a USB 3.0 and up, that's probably not going to work for you. There's a lot of restrictions and a lot of just.
And we have
gotta
a
be
full
careful.
article about that, and then we have a whole.
We have an article,
Wii
but
U wiki about it.
and the trick though is like we have the article, but at the same time, like you got to test them. Like it's not, we could test several. And, we could test 6 or 7 or 8 different types, and maybe those aren't the ones that you have. And that's just a very tricky thing. Like, it's you're going to have to try it. Like, I would highly recommend, like, borrowing a friend's or something and seeing what you can do,
Yep. All right. Well, we should wrap up this podcast pretty soon, but I wanted to know, what your plans are for Nintendo launch day? I'm going to be going around noon to pick mine up. It's paid off.
Why wait till noon?
Because I can't get up before that.
Wow.
I respect
No,
you,
I'm just
sir.
kidding. I might go for. I might go at midnight. I need to call GameStop and see if they're going to do it. I've heard mostly no midnight
There aren't
launches.
many launches in the. I know where I pre-ordered it is not doing midnight.
Yeah.
My GameStop stuff doesn't open at midnight, but I'll be there when they open.
Well, so the real reason I don't want to go when they open is because I have no interest in waiting in line. I mean,
know what?
even if I have to pay, I'll just skip that. I'll skip that part.
Yeah,
But I'm a little
Wait, are
worried
you gonna
they'll
skip
get rid of
paying?
my stuff. No, I already paid.
I thought you were like, nah, paying. I'm just gonna walk in with
No,
that.
I got the receipt in my back pocket right now. I should be able to
Nice.
walk in, walk out. But the one thing that'll prevent me from doing that is some kind of like gridlock, line
Yeah,
setting.
yeah.
Hey, the footage right now is showing the network ID stuff, and Bill was introducing it from Nintendo. I cracked up, man. Only Nintendo would do a presentation where they say like, and over here is where Nintendo Wii U owners can register their user. We call them users. It's
Cringe.
It's amazing, like they make
Some
it
of
seem
the
like
things they
it's
get
something
through.
special, but it's like the most generic and
Yeah.
boring term for something.
Yep.
You
It's
know?
like when
Now we have these things
Xbox
called
introduced
profiles.
Yeah, exactly.
when Xbox introduced avatars as me's. Like,
Yeah.
we've seen this before.
I
Guys.
know of this thing.
Anyway, so Audrey, are you going? You're sticking with the one you have through work, so you're not going to be going.
No,
for
I'm
going
gonna
to
be picking one up.
You be playing games.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick one up. Gonna
What are you
get,
going to play on launch day?
I'm gonna play more Nintendo Land because didn't get enough of it. It's really fun.
Awesome.
Probably have some people over. Gonna play Mario because I haven't actually gotten to beat that game because I've been so busy with the games I've been reviewing. And probably gonna pick up Tekken.
Cool.
Thinking
What are you
about
going to
Batman.
play on launch day, Rich?
Nope.
No.
No, I mean, so actually, here's the weird thing: is I'm going to be playing it all day Saturday because that hypothetically is when I get the update. So that's me testing all the other.
What are you
things,
gonna play
getting
for fun?
everything Set up.
What's the game you're saving to play for fun?
Ugh.
Scribble knots.
I guess I don't know.
Rich doesn't
I
have
mean,
fun.
This is true.
I mean, I've sort of been watching over.
I'm
all
sure
the-
you'll play Nintendo Land.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like I've sort of been watching over all these games so much for the past 2 weeks that I would actually relish not
That's the
playing
funny thing
Wii
is
U for
people
a day.
keep asking
What about
us.
Crash Mo?
I'm gonna play the
That's a
hell
3DS.
out of that.
Yeah, I might get Crash Mo. I mean, I might.
get
I think
I
you're gonna
might-
be playing Epic Mickey the entire day.
Yeah.
3DS.
No.
Pear, I
That's
assume
the
you'll be on
version.
Nintendo Land for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up Nintendo Land for
You
sure
have
because
the-
multiplayer will drive me crazy.
You have Nintendo
I
Land in your
can't
packet.
stand
right?
cooperative
Huh?
platforming.
You got the Pro.
I got the
kit.
pack-in, yeah. And then I pre-ordered Zombie U. Got to talk to a couple more editors internally to see if I should keep my pre-order. What's going on?
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
We
I
have
mean,
some copies floating around, so I'm gonna give it a try before I buy.
here's the interesting thing: is like I want to play Halo 4. I want to play
yeah.
Black Ops 2. I want to finish Assassin's Creed 3, and I probably should play Dishonored. So
Saw
you
you playing
start last
yesterday,
night.
yeah.
I finished it last night, and you just
And you
started
like
playing?
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to.
Oh my gosh, it's good.
I need
Yeah.
to play
That should
3,
come
4,
to
and
Wii U.
5 of that. That's the thing is like I've been doing so much of this and WWE
Little
before
time
that
for
and Resident
everything
Evil before
else.
that. Like I just have not played
Yeah.
anything else. So
I need
I'm
to get
gonna
on
do that.
Dishonored. I have it. I just haven't had time.
Yeah.
But
So-
yeah, that's the funny thing is that people keep asking Rich and me like if we're excited for the Wii U launch, and it's like, well, we've kind of had the system for
Yeah.
a while, and we've played these games over the course of like a few months, so it's not.
Destiny's
It's
just
kind of a
marauding
funny
around.
scenario.
It's also just a very different thing. Like it's
Yeah.
just such a different experience on how this
All right,
works.
guys.
So,
Mm-hmm.
anyway.
So we do need to wrap this up. Let me see here. I have anything else to go? No, we went through everything. All right.
Awesome.
Well, that's all for now, and happy launch day to everyone. They don't happen often. Be sure to tune in to our live stream next week. Do we have a time for that?
11 to 3.
November 19th
Pacific.
on